So who's better, you or Harry Kane?
What a stupid question.
VAR has actually been the most damaging thing for our sport in my lifetime.
Lewis Hall has to start left back for England. His performances of the last 2 months have been outstanding.
How long did it take you to think of that question? Gaz, what would you do in this situation? Such a brilliant, amazing question that took ages to think
it's
about.
It's not about the question, it's about the answer. And Gaz delivered.
Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards. Recovered, I hope. Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. It's been FA Cup weekend, obviously. No major shocks other than probably Mansfield winning at Burnley. I don't think Tony will be listening to this. Indeed, Alistair Campbell is another Burnley fan. It was a tough one for them. But overall, Micah, how are you? That's the most important thing. You've not been very well.
Do you want the honest answer? Or?
Of course we want the honest answer.
I think there's something like it's actually coming out both ends or something like that to it. Is that right?
Yes, I was sick. I was supposed to go to Abu Dhabi, was it on Monday? It didn't happen. I had a temperature and then I was sick a couple of times and then it come out the other end as well. So.
Norovirus, was it? Probably. Something like that.
God knows what it was.
Well, at least you didn't do it on a football pitch, Micah, because honestly, you never want to do that. It's quite embarrassing. But you're feeling a bit better.
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
It's going to take its time the size of that arse to get rid of that, by the way.
Oh, well, we've started at the bottom in this podcast. Oh dear. It wasn't, I would say, the most exhilarating weekend of FA Cup football, but that happens every now and again.
Which means all the so-called big boys have sort of done their job and did what they had to do, didn't they?
Can I just give a little bit of context to Burnley, though? I actually watched that game and Burnley should have scored 3 or 4 goals. It wasn't like they were outplayed. Mansfield were brilliant as well on the day, but Burnley missed so many chances. Yeah. The goal that they took it really well, but it was a good day for Cloughie, wasn't it?
Do you know anything I would say on that for Burnley? He's been under pressure. So you win a game, a big game, and you suddenly get 3 points, you've suddenly got a little bit of the feel-good factor. So you get a home game in the FA Cup and you think, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make 9 changes. I honestly do not understand the logic behind that. I guess he wants to protect it because he feels like the most important thing is staying up, which is highly, highly unlikely. But if it was to happen, it would happen because they grab a bit of momentum. So if they go into this game playing their best team and they win it again, suddenly 2 wins on the bounce, here we go. Now, it might not happen anyway, and it might not make any difference, and obviously it's slightly hypothetical, but I just don't get it. It's not like they're playing in Europe. They're not playing in the Carabao Cup. They've only got league games once every week, really, now. I genuinely do not understand the thinking behind it.
I wouldn't argue on that. I would go along with you. It was, in a way, Hull was something similar because I did the Hull Chelsea game on Friday evening. They each made 6 or 7 changes as well, left a lot of the first teamers out. But it's slightly different for them because they're in 4th position in the Championship. So I guess their priority has to be promotion to the Premier League. I mean, realistically, Burnley are not going to win it. Hull are not going to win it. So getting to the next round will probably, I don't know, worth anything from $500,000 to $1 million if they get picked on a TV game, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, from a Burnley point of view, I certainly get what you're saying, yeah.
The only thing I would say, though, to counteract that, Gaz, is the players who are not trusted in the Premier League, they need to keep fit, don't they? And it's the only game, really, you can use them. So if you think there's half a sniff of staying up in the Premier League and you've got all these players and they're not getting a game in the Premier League, it's one, like Alan said, they're probably not going to win the FA Cup. So I see both sides. I'm probably on your side more. Well, that momentum, you win that and then, the changing room's buzzing and then you know what wins do to a group of players. Just gives you that little bit of confidence. But in terms of when you've got squad players, it's the only real time they can get some football.
You both worked on the Friday night game, Hull versus Chelsea, which was obviously a very comfortable victory for Chelsea. But there's been a little bit of complaint with that because obviously traditionally most of the games have either been on recent years, both by BBC and ITV and free to air.
Well, we can't talk because he works for Amazon and I work for Sky, which is behind a paywall.
I don't work for anyone anymore, Micah.
Don't
the hypocrisy, Alan, that's about to come out of your mouth.
I wasn't going to say anything, Micah. I was going to say I didn't realise that the game that we did on Friday evening, Hull Chelsea, and the game that I did yesterday was Villa Newcastle, were also on TNT as well. That's all I was going to say. It was on both. Yeah. So
I was watching the other one because I couldn't cope with you two. Not true. Not true at all. A perfect moment to take a little bit of an advertising break. This episode is brought to you by Fuse Energy. No one likes a panic buy on deadline day. The smart teams do their business early, not relying on dodgy fax machines. Are they still a thing? Rushed medicals or watching a plan B target become a plan C.
The best deals are the calm ones, when you've still got options on the table.
Switching to Fuse Energy is one of those great deals. On average, customers save around £200 on their energy bills, and it only takes 3 minutes to switch. You get 24/7 customer support. You see exactly what you're using day by day, all in one app, and play a part in Fuse's mission to deliver energy that keeps getting cheaper for everyone.
And it doesn't stop there. Switch to Fuse Energy and you could have your question answered on the show.
Sign up to Fuse Energy at fuseenergy.com/football. Use the referral code FOOTBALL. And you could also win a 1990 England shirt signed by the three of us at The Rest is Football. Let's start with the games. We talked about the Burnley one, but probably the game of the weekend was also one that you certainly were there, Alan, weren't you? Villa?
Yeah, I did that for BBC as well. I was in the studio. I did the co-coms Friday night, but then in the studio on Saturday.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer the co-coms or the studio?
Yeah, I much prefer the co-coms.
Yeah.
It's harder, but I get a bigger buzz out of it because, I don't know, you have to call it within a second and you're in the cold, you're in the stadium, you're not in the studio, you're feeling everything I guess the fans are. So,
but let me ask you it in a slightly different way. If I was still there, Alan, you'd obviously prefer to be in the studio.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go. That's the answer I was looking for.
There's a headline there. Alan Shearer prefers to work with Gary Lineker.
We are joking. Let's make it abundantly clear for everyone. This is, as they say, banter.
Actually, I have to tell you, it was probably, I know, because I had time to think. You've got time to think when you're in the studio because more often than not, by the time they come to you, you've got a few minutes to work out what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. You've got time to look at your little bits of analysis, unless it happens in the last sort of second or two of the half. So if I was on the co-coms yesterday on the Aston Villa Newcastle one, I might have been sacked because with what I wanted to say, read what the referee and the assistants, honestly.
I'm coming to that. They had a bad day. One more question before we talk about the officiating. When you say when we come to half time, you get a little bit of a chance to think. It's always important to sit in the first seat, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hansen insisted on it for years because you get first dibs at what's happened in the first half.
It has slightly
or
changed
the final
now.
Whistle.
That was more often than not the case when Alan was there, but it has slightly changed now a little bit.
It's still general for a presenter. You tend to have this. It's like slightly weird. Having done it for a long time, you always go to the person that's nearest to you for the first reaction. Now, Micah always likes to sit on the far end, don't you?
Correct. Yes.
Why do you like to? Because if you've got an idea about saying something and Alan doesn't say it, but maybe the middle guest does, and then it gets to you, it's like, what do I say now? But you've always got a different angle to come from.
Of course. You always write down two things that you want to say.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working with Danny Murphy and I wrote down two things. He said both things. I was like,
do you think he looked at your notes?
What am I going to say now? I can't believe
That's my point.
So I asked him a question and I gathered my thoughts and thought, what can I do? Say something interesting. And then I think I was working with Kelly, Kate asked an interesting question, and I was like, phew.
Yeah.
Because he reads the game really well, Danny Murphy. So you've always got to get in there first if you want to say something. But I prefer sitting at the end because when you're in the middle, you feel squashed, you know?
Well, you would, yeah.
Stretch out and flex it. I like to pretend that I'm the second presenter on the desk, you know? I'm just sitting back, relaxing, see what the presenter says. I'm waiting to see if they mess up or anything, just to prop them up a little bit.
I always felt like you're after my job, Michael, when I was there. I'm sad you didn't get it.
Do you remember the Euros?
Yeah.
This is what he did.
Yeah.
We had no strikers on the panel. I don't think we did.
A couple of games,
I think we had Alan was in co-coms and you was the only striker. So I thought, you know what? Here's my moment. You want to venture into that presenting type of role, but you don't want to be a presenter. You just want to ask a few questions. So I said, Gaz, what would you do in that situation? And he went on this. Everyone covered it. And I thought, it was absolutely fantastic.
How long did it take you to think of that question? Gaz, what would you do in this situation? Such a brilliant, amazing question that took ages to think
it's
about.
It's not about the question. It's about the answer. And Gaz delivered.
I have to tell you also, by the way, the box for the studio that they used at Villa Park, goodness me, it must be the worst box for TV in the world. You can only see half a pitch.
Can you?
Honestly, it's like you end up watching it on the television in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I prefer doing the co-coms, because you're up watching it outside the whole pitch.
Here's a question for you. The best TV studio in a ground to work at?
Ooh. You're very rarely in the middle anyway, are you? You're always at the end of the pitch somewhere, aren't you?
There's an obvious winner to this one.
Go on.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Spurs. Yeah, did Spurs. Yeah.
Really good, that one. I mean, they've got a modern ground, but they've actually the one place that have thought it through and actually gone, this is a really good thing to do and make it look really good and put it in a good place. So I don't think when they're designing new stadiums, they think of that very often. So at least Spurs got something right. Right, here we go. So let's say the officials didn't have a great day in the game between Villa and Newcastle.
Yeah, that's been very, very polite.
But that happens.
We're all allowed a bad day, but let's be honest, guys. Those three yesterday, seriously, how bad were they? I mean, they were terrible. I would say out of 5, maybe 4 big decisions, simple decisions, I would say, they got 1 correct.
It's not a bad 1 out of 5. The one thing I would say is, do you not think they all got together and thought, right, tell you what, let's make a load of shit decisions and then they'll all go, see, VAR's much better.
No. What happened
I'm joking
was,
again, by the way, people don't take that literally.
What's been happening is they've been with VAR since the beginning of the season, refereeing all the Premier Leagues and everything they've had to do. And then they get to that game and all of a sudden they haven't got the comfort blanket that they've been relying on to say, it doesn't really matter if I get it wrong because the VAR will correct me. Well, yesterday, because of that, they were hopeless.
But yeah, I mean, surely, where's the comfort blanket come from? The one that's clearly in the box and he puts his arm. I mean, he did actually give the handball. That would have been the one.
The handball, the assistant was 12 yards away looking directly at it.
Correct. But that can't be about a comfort blanket.
Well, he must have thought, honestly, I don't know what he was thinking.
You need a big blanket to be that far outside the box.
I mean, Digne should have been sent off for a terrible tackle. The assistant who missed the handball also missed the offside for the goal. Simple decision.
Maybe he only could see off the pitch like you in the studio.
I'm not sure he can see any of the pitch, judging by his decisions. I know it's a hard job and it's a difficult job, but right, we all have a bad day. But come on, guys. They have to be better. They have to do at this level of football, the importance of it. Luckily, Newcastle won the game, right, because of the decisions that went against them. But can you imagine if Newcastle hadn't gone through that, the backlash that would have happened?
You at halftime, Al, was hilarious. And for full time. I don't know if you watched the coverage, Gaz, but it was seething. It just won it. It come back to Alan in the studio, and he still had to get a digging about the refs. It was hilarious.
I had to that was me calm down. You should have seen me during it when the decisions were being made, or the decisions weren't being made, whatever how you want to look at it. Oh, God, I was raging. And the Newcastle fans were right in front of the box as well, and they were obviously going mad, and rightly so as well, because the assistant referee on the side that we were sat, he did miss another 2 or 3 clear offsides as well. They're terrible, dear.
You know, we all have bad days, but the one thing I would say is that I'd still take that over VAR. At least it's quick mistakes. I mean, even VAR, they still make mistakes anyway, so it's not really improved it that much. There are things that would have been turned over. And this brings me to the point that I've made 8,457,603 times about an appeal system. It's the only way out of this. I mean, obviously, they would have appealed straight away. Newcastle, they would have won their appeal and it would have been happened. We don't look at every fucking goal. We don't look at every corner for trying to find something. We don't do this. We only do it if there's an appeal and so says he pushed him, not, try and find us something from a corner or whatever. And it's the only way out of this because VAR is unacceptably slow. It's embarrassing. It's just not helped the game whatsoever. It's actually been the most damaging thing for our sport in my lifetime. And I think I can say that the way it's been done. I don't blame the referees. I don't even blame the VAR people. Yeah. But because of the nature of it and the fact that we've gone down this thing about high bars and then we put it a bit lower and then it's up again, then it's down. And it's become an important part of the game. And they said it wasn't going to be a second referee. And yes, it is. It's just not worked. It's not worked. But the appeals thing is the way out and it will come. I guarantee it will come, and it can't come soon enough.
I do feel sorry for the referees, believe it or not, because I think they've just made it impossible for them. I was for VAR, and I would just like VAR to be as they told us, and they have gone so far from what they told us. Clear and obvious, not going to re-referee, maximum benefit, minimum interference. I mean, they have gone so far from that. It's incredible. So I would like what they actually told us.
I think that's impossible, though, unless they go to an appeal system. It's the only way out of this. The only way, I think.
Can we get Howard Webb on again?
Yeah, I'd happily have him on at all. I mean, we all have bad days. Referees have bad days. VAR have bad days.
Just the pressure from their side, Gaz, you know?
Hardly anyone I know likes VAR. I mean, it's because it's so dreadfully slow. And then they've got to go, is it enough of a foul to give a penalty? I mean, what does that even mean? It's either a foul or it's not a foul. But you can't do it because otherwise it's not a clear and obvious ever. I feel sorry for them because it's impossible for them. You can't get it right all the time. They've got no chance under the current guidelines and stuff. But that's why it needs to change. And the appeal system, it stipulates exactly what the players, whoever it is, whether it's the captain or the coach, someone says, right, we're appealing this because so-and-so did so-and-so to so-and-so, or so-and-so handballed it. And then they just look at that one incident, so it can't take too long. And then they determine whether they're right and it is a foul or not. Now, there'll still be mistakes and there'll still be disagreements, but boy, oh boy, we won't have this farce that is VAR.
Anyway, Newcastle got through to the 5th round, lads.
Tonali.
Tonali. They were really impressive. They weren't so good first off, I didn't think. I think Villa were the better team, deserved to be in front, albeit by an offside goal. But Newcastle were much better second half, better press, better energy, took the game to Villa against their 10 men and deserved to go through, I thought.
While we're just on Newcastle, Lewis Hall has to start left back for England.
Think he will.
He's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
To go from midfield to left back, his spatial awareness, his timing of his challenges, he's good on the ball, he's got good delivery, he's got everything. His performances of the last 2 months have been outstanding. He's by far the best in terms of... Luke Shaw's done well since United have been doing well.
O'Reilly is another one. That's a midfield player converted to a left back and now batting midfield. O'Reilly's probably the only other one that comes close, I would say.
Yeah, but O'Reilly's, like you said, been played in midfield, give Man City a lot of energy in that midfield. But yeah, I would say Luis.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Micah. Big blow for Newcastle also. Bruno Guimaraes, he's going to be out for about 2 months, 8 weeks. So, yeah.
Their results don't go well generally without him. That's a deep concern, isn't it?
I think there was 13 before yesterday without him, and they only won 1 game.
How do you remedy that?
Well, they all have to step up. Tonali did that. We said that before the game yesterday, right? Who is the one that is going to step up and take the captain's place and do what he's done for so many times for Newcastle, is either play that killer pass, produce something special to get the result. And Tonali did that yesterday.
Well, I was going to bring me on to Tonali because, he was very passionate with his celebrations, wasn't he? Because there's been a few rumours and whispering, hasn't there, Alan, that he wants off. He wants maybe go back to Italy.
I saw that as well. I don't know whether or who it is, whether it's an agency connected with him or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. But judging by because he hasn't hit the heights a lot of times this season from what he did to last season.
Well, they were his first goals for ages, weren't they?
Yeah, I loved his reaction yesterday. I loved all of the players' reaction, particularly in Spurs when they pushed Eddie Howe forward to the front of the fans. And I don't know whether you saw the interview yesterday, but Tonali and Kieran Trippier both were both praising Eddie Howe and what he's done and how much they love working with him and all of that. And I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was great. So I think judging by his reaction, then I wouldn't look too serious into it.
Yeah, totally agree. I just think he's a top player. I think we talk about someone stepping up. It is a little bit harder because Bruno gets into the box a lot more, doesn't he?
Yeah.
If you look at Tonali's finishing, he was edge of the box. And if we can get the ball to him there, perfect. But you'd see Bruno more running into the 6-yard box, getting his goals or whatever it may be, or just into the box. But I've always rated him. I think he's brilliant, and especially after all the betting thing, coming back from that, a lot of people said he's not going to be the same player. And yes, his form's not been as good as last, but with his quality, he's always going to get back to his best.
Yeah, it was interesting what you said about the support for Eddie Howe from the players, because you always expect, players will never talk ill of a manager, but they went out of their way to say it, and that you could tell it was actually seriously meant.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Just before we have a break, we've already discussed this game on a Burnley perspective, but I think we should give a shout out massively to Mansfield for their achievements. I know they, you said Burnley missed a few chances, and they did. But that is still a monumental effort, and Nigel Clough in charge there. I tell you what, he's looking more and more like his dad as he gets older.
It was an unbelievable free kick, wasn't it? The goal.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Brilliant! Yeah, absolutely brilliant goal from Louis Reed, who's been around the houses in the lower leagues. But it was a fabulous technique.
Brilliant.
There was a player called Oates as well up front. He was very good in the game. He was running all over the place. His link-up play as well, got his goal. Yeah, they had some impressive players, they did.
Rhys Oates is like Rice and Oates. I don't know, you can't forget that name, but brilliant header. Technically, the way to do it. 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time since 1975. 50 years, 51 years.
I can just see the pictures tomorrow night when the draw's being made, where all those players are all going to be around the TV and hoping for the biggest draw, Newcastle at home, something like that, wouldn't they?
Well, you're not going to give a little shout out to Voltemada. Now you mentioned Newcastle again. He scored. He kept him on. He got his goal. He played a lot better, I thought.
Him and Asula were miles apart in the first half, and he was coming far too deep. And I'm sure that Eddie must have said something to him at half time instead of going and getting the ball on the 18-yard box where he wasn't going to hurt anyone.
It's amazing how we've managed to get back to fucking Newcastle.
He said Newcastle. I was going for a break. We were talking about Mansfield. And he said Newcastle at home.
I just said they'll be wanting the biggest draw and getting Newcastle at home Monday. That's what they'll be wanting.
That in itself is ridiculous. But yeah, so Mansfield will be waiting for that draw. But I was going to try to make the point before Newcastle came in again.
Sorry.
That in the Copa del Rey, in Spain, the lower league teams always get home dibs, which I think, because especially now there's no replays, I think it's quite a good idea.
Up until what round?
Every round.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you know that, Micah?
No, I didn't know that either.
Well, I hope it's right. Check that, Harry. You obviously get 2 legs in the semi-finals, but tell you what, let's take a break and discuss some of the other cup ties when we come back. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. What's worse than missing a penalty? A brand without a solid website? Squarespace makes it easy for you and customers with new mobile pay links. Customers can pay for your products or services via text, email, social, or QR code, fast and hassle-free. Go to squarespace.com/football for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code FOOTBALL, all uppercase, to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Welcome back to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer and Micah Richards and me, Gary Lineker, discussing the FA Cup, obviously. And tell you what, Liverpool are starting to look a little bit more like the Liverpool of last season. I think even Arne Slot said so in a press conference after the game. He said, we're in a good place. I think 1 or 2 of the players seem to be settling in more, Kirkes being one. I see Mo Salah looking sharper. It might be a time to bring him in your fantasy team. I sense a good run of goal scoring coming. So, yeah, Szoboszlai is in great form. So I think, reason to be a bit more cheerful for Liverpool fans who've had it tough the last few months.
Yeah, I would say so. When they had that game against Man City, it looked like they was going to win with that Szoboszlai free kick. And first half, they weren't great at all. No. And then second half, they was amazing. There was a big debate after the game whether they could finish in the top 4. And I saw something in the second half to say, yes, this is a good team. Liverpool are their best, similar to Newcastle when they're on the front foot and they use the crowd to their advantage. And they're certainly doing that. Szoboszlai took his game to the next level, whether he's playing right back, centre mid, whether he's playing number 10. He could play pretty much anywhere. His energy, his technique, his driving runs. He's really, I think he's been their outstanding player this season.
What a strike again.
Oh, my.
A goal. I mean, that was so
goal
pure.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Pure.
Mo Salah's touch with the right foot into his path.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah, it was. How good is Szoboszlai? I mean, he's drawn comparisons with Steven Gerrard, which I always think is a little bit. Somebody plays a few great games, and all of a sudden you go, right, he's like him. So yeah, I mean, I think you need to be cautious on that one. But he's definitely a multi-talented player that can play in a variety of positions.
Well, he's had to fill in at right back as well several times, hasn't he? So yeah, he's a really good player. He's got a great engine. I would agree with you, Micah, in terms of the Man City game, but also if you had to watch them in midweek at Sunderland, defensively, I thought they were outstanding.
How's he got that sorted out? Because it's the same personnel in the central defence. It's in front of them, isn't it, or not?
Well, did you hear Arne Slot yesterday? I think after his interview, because I was watching that game on the way home after the Villa game, and I listened to Arne Slot afterwards. He actually went out of his way, I think, to praise Mo Salah's work defensively, which I've noticed in the last couple of games where he's doing a lot more work defensively than I've seen him do for a while.
I'd probably agree with that with Alan. I think it's just players fitting in now. I think Wirtz is doing a lot better. I think when Van Dijk plays well, the team plays really well. Konate, after losing his dad, has put in some really good performances as well. I just think when Van Dijk plays well at the back, the whole of Liverpool play, if he has an off game, because everyone rely on him so much, it ruins the whole team. It really does, because they're so used to him being perfect in every single game. And if you look at him the last couple of games, he's been brilliant, absolutely outstanding, alongside Konate. And you mentioned Kirkes as well. I think he's been a lot better. If you watch Kirkes early on in the season, I won't say he was too excited, but he was trying to impress a little bit too much. So he was quite rash with his challenges and then had to make changes. They tried Frimpong early doors, didn't they, where he's more of a winger. They played at right back, and that wasn't really his strength. I think now they've got the balance of the team right. And we're not talking about a team that should be 14th. They're always going to get better, wouldn't they? We're just going through a bit of a tough time.
I think that's probably absolutely right. But I think, Liverpool do look like they're on the way back. Football can prove us wrong very quickly. Manchester City, as expected, won fairly comfortably. I thought Salford battled away quite well. I thought the interesting thing that came out of that game was the words from James Trafford. afterwards. So he came in and played well again, made a couple of excellent saves as he did a couple of weeks ago. And he said the following: "It was nice. It wasn't what I expected coming into the season. I tried to guard against it. It's the reality and I have to give it my best shot. It's the situation I'm in. We train every day, but making saves, it's good fun. It's one of them. It's a knockout competition. We won't have a week until the next game. We have to keep going." I think his point there was very clear that he thought he was coming to Manchester City to be the first team goalkeeper.
Well, he was, wasn't he? He was going to be number one. And then there was reports coming out of Paris that Donnarumma was available at, was it 25 million quid?
Yeah.
After just winning the Champions League. Everyone jumped at the opportunity. It was just unfortunate. He was really unfortunate because he's a very good goalkeeper. He's proven that in the game that he's played this season. But it's just...
He's Donnarumma. He's probably, he's one of the top 5 goalkeepers in the world, if not the best.
Exactly.
How old's Donnarumma? It's not as if he's going to...
He's young, yeah.
He's 26, Donnarumma. So he's got at least another 10 years going at his prime because his goalkeepers last longer.
He'll have to leave.
He'll have to, I think so. Because he's too good not to play regularly. And I think he went through that tough first season at Burnley. He's come on leaps and bounds. He's bulked up a little bit. He's been exceptional when he's played for City, albeit against slightly inferior opposition. But the first team goalkeeper generally at most clubs, most of the time, stays as the person it is until they make a serious change or the goalkeeper is useless. And that is certainly not going to be the case with Donnarumma. So what do you do? I mean, he clearly wanted to make the point that this is not really what I signed for. And that's the ambition is important as well. If you've got to believe that you're good.
I don't think it'll do him any harm. I think it'll do him the world of good, actually, working with one of the best keepers in the world for 12 months.
That's a good point.
So I think from a learning point of view and an improving and all of those things, I don't think the year or this season would have been wasted for him to look at him and see how he works and operates. I don't think that's a bad thing. But a year's enough doing that. Then I think he would himself want to play first team football on a regular basis. So after this season, I guess.
Didn't Newcastle go for him, Alan?
Newcastle, as far as I'm aware, went in for him, yeah. What are you laughing at? I thought
back
he was coming to Newcastle.
That's probably why. Sorry, that's my fault. That's my fault.
See, I never brought it up this time. Yes, I think that Newcastle were in for him, yeah. But wasn't there a buyback clause in his contract for Man City?
I think that was right, wasn't it? I think that's the case.
I didn't know that detail, Al.
I think
got more insight than that. It seems like you know a lot about that contract, Al.
No, I'm just saying, you dickhead.
He did indeed have a buyback clause for 31 million after they matched, apparently, Newcastle's bid.
Let me just ask you guys what you think of Mark Gahey playing and scoring.
The fact that he's already played for Palace.
And got knocked out.
Well, I think as he lifted the cup last season, I think it's reasonable.
Totally fine. Rules are rules, Al.
Okay. I'm just asking your opinion, guys. I'm turned into the presenter like you want to be, Mike. I just thought I'd ask the question.
When I watched Match of the Day this morning, do you know what happened in it, Micah? There was a moment that, and if this catches on, I'm done. It was one of the games they were showing. There was a bit of commentary, and the commentary said, "He's found a bit of room of space." Not even a pocket of space. And I'm thinking to myself, oh God, no, don't let that catch
I like it. I'm going to write that down. A room of space.
I mean, what?
Found a bit of room of space. Okay.
So I just made me go, what? This afternoon, I watched the first half of Arsenal, and it was obviously very easy. They were 4-0 up at half time. So I switched over and watched the second half of Rangers Hearts, which was obviously a huge game in the Premiership in Scotland. And Hearts led twice, but Rangers humped them down, and they ended up winning. So that the table's now very tight because Celtic got a last-minute winner. They came from 2 down earlier in the day. Here's me watching Scottish football, folks. And Hearts now lead by just 2 points from Rangers, and Celtic are a point further back in third. You've got a proper title race in Scotland.
Ooh, they've got a game in hand, though, haven't they, Celtic? If they win their game in hand,
I mean, then it becomes even more interesting.
So if they win the game in hand, they go level, right?
Level. Okay. Goal difference. Hearts have got a +4 goal difference at the moment.
And Youssef Chermiti scored a hat-trick. Yeah. So I was kind of I'm kind of cheering on Hearts because, as you know, as someone who's got no skin in the game, I don't support anyone in Scotland. I just think it would be quite good for Scottish football if someone outside of the Rangers or Celtic won it, because it was Ferguson's Aberdeen last time, which was in the mid-80s. I mean, that's 40 years ago when I was playing, Micah. I was playing in those days. It would be an incredible achievement if they managed to do it. I want to talk about your friend, Micah, as well.
Ooh.
Your friend Bastoni. Did you see his antics in the...
I'm going to be having words with him.
Have you sent him a text, Micah?
Not yet, but I will be. That was shocking.
It's the worst dive I've seen since Tuesday night, the 2 Tottenham players against Newcastle.
Do you know what they should do with diving, right? They should do, I think, a kind of a punishment of 3-game ban to stop it. And the same, when someone pretends play acting, they've got hit in the face and they've actually not really. Anything like that is embarrassing for football.
When it's that blatant, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get more blatant than that.
Exactly.
Even if you don't see it at the time, and it's difficult for referees, and they didn't have VAR in the FA Cup, obviously. But, the one in Italy, and they can't intervene for yellow cards, VAR anyway. But if you see something like that, they should be an automatic 3-game suspension, because that's the only way players are going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
I've had a bad dive though, guys. That's why I'm being a little...
Well, yours was the worst. But you should have... If you'd have set... Actually, yours should have been a 6-game ban for that. I mean,
so shocking.
You went up... Yeah, at least you did it theatrically and you went right up in the air. You didn't try and con anyone. He's also been yellow carded in the game, Bastoni. I don't know whether you know this. So if he'd have got a second yellow for diving...
He was off.
And actually, so they should have been down to 10 men, not the other way around. So
didn't he go like that as well, though?
And then he's waved his arm up to give him a yellow card to make sure he got sent off. I mean, the nerve of it. I mean, do they not realise we see television replays and stuff, and it's going to haunt you in your adult life for the rest of his days? People are going to go, Bastoni the bastardo. Something like that for doing that. I mean, come on, man. That's shit. It's crap.
It's bad.
It really is. What's not crap is Harry Kane. Harry Kane, 500 goals now.
Amazing.
In his career. What an incredible striker. What an incredible footballer he is.
Did I read 1 or 2 rumours about him signing a new contract, or talks about a new contract over there?
Why wouldn't you? I mean, he's killing it over there, isn't he?
He's brilliant, man.
He's killing it.
500. How many did you score, Al? No banter. I know you scored 260 in the Prem, but how many did you score?
Well, I think it was 4-2-2.
4-2-2 in how many games?
Including friendlies and schoolboys games, like Sunday league matches when he was a kid.
It was early 700, 600 and something.
So you're averaging, what, a goal every other game?
You sound surprised, Micah.
Are you 1-2? No, I mean, I know your Premier League record, but obviously he was a lot younger.
1-2 was good in the day. It's not now because of the law changes and everything, but yeah.
I might have counted my 13 England under-21 goals in there.
You see, I knew he was up to something.
Did you count your 30 England goals, Alan?
He's counted Victory Shield goals from under-16s. I can't.
3. Yeah. 4. Should have been 49.
Yeah, well, he should have been 73. I mean, that could have, if you take in the chances you miss in your career. Interesting talking about that. Obviously, you're referring to the penalty. Do you know how many penalties Harry scored in that 500? Have a guess.
75.
No.
86.
100. Dead on.
Is it really?
So 500
wow.
goals, 100 penalties. So that's, come on, do the maths. 1 in.
What did you say? Sorry.
We weren't listening.
I wasn't listening. Sorry, someone was ringing me.
I'm asking you.
Sorry, I just.
So he scored 500 goals in total.
Yes.
100 have come from the penalty spot. So what's his ratio of penalties per goal?
Oh, what in 1/5?
Hey, thank you, Mike. I knew you'd get
it.
Exactly, 1 in 5. It's
brilliant. What an amazing! Just incredible, he is.
And the thing about Harry as well, he's not just a goal scorer, is he? He's an incredible passer of the ball. And
well, he isn't slowing down either.
Yeah, let's hope he carries on right throughout the World Cup. Can
I just ask you guys, as top strikers, before we leave, does that
Here
bother
it is.
you?
How long you thought about this question for?
Does it bother you that Harry Kane scored more goals or not? Be honest, and I want an honest, genuine answer here.
Nah, not at all.
Why would it bother you if he scored more goals? I mean,
I hope he scores way more.
Because everyone's got that question, who's the greatest ever English striker?
Pele scored more goals, so whoever scored more. What is it? I mean, what does it matter? It's just because he's English, it doesn't make any difference. It's great to see, and he's a nice lad as well, isn't he? So
who's better, you or Harry Kane?
What a stupid question.
Are you talking to me or Alan, Micah?
Both of you.
Harry Kane's a better footballer, I would say. I would say Harry Kane's a better footballer than me. And Alan, probably. But...
Okay, who's a better goal scorer out of you two then?
Well, it's hard to compare because goal scoring now is so... Obviously, all the people that are scoring the goals now, the big ones, are pretty much a goal a game. Haaland, Mbappe, Lewandowski, Harry Kane, they're all around a goal a game. In our day, if you got better than 1 in 2, that was because of... Obviously, massive law changes. Can't just kick people. Pitches are better. Way more penalties. So you've got to be on penalties nowadays. So it has changed. So I'd fancy scoring a lot of goals if I played now. If I was in my prime now and had, obviously, you grow up with the football that's played now. And pitches, man.
Yeah,
pitches. How do you miss?
I watched the bit of the, actually go back to the FA Cup. You just see Grimsby Wolves today. The Grimsby pitch. It was like a pitch
Old
from
school.
the 80s. Oh, proper old school. Mud, rain. It was brilliant to see. The ball was getting stuck in the mud. It was like back in the 80s. It was great to see. Wolves did well, actually, getting that result because it was tricky going there and getting that win. So,
people say it was great back then, football in the 70s and 80s, but I think it must have been so shit to watch. Honestly, it was so hard to play. I mean, on some of the games that you play in the mud, oh my God, it was bloody awful. But anyway, we all reminisce favourably and fondly, I think. So what a lovely way to finish this episode of The Rest is Football. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.